because we've seen him win fighting through the field. We've seen him win from the front. That wasn't just an advantage. That was a stranglehold. That was 3 faults and a submission. That was done.
It was. He was out of here, wasn't he? He was absolutely gone. A brilliant start. I mean, he timed the initial start to perfection, and he just put his head down. He didn't worry about what was going on in his mirrors. He just put his head down and flew away at the front of the field. 2.8 seconds at the end of the first lap, without there being a major incident behind him. If there had been some sort of a major crash, then fair enough. But no, that was a great drive. And he was able to pull away, but that's all come down to nothing. The good news there is that was Brent Asplen who just went past, so he has now completed his first lap. So he might have got out well behind everybody else, but having made that lengthy pit stop before the green, Brent Asplen now has been able to get out onto the racetrack, and he will join.
So he didn't lose the lap.
He didn't lose a lap.
Wow! I was so busy looking at what was going on behind him. Behind him as the cars were coming round, that I didn't see him get out onto the circuit, but he certainly did then. Well, good spot, Jeremy Shaw. Kelly Moss Road and Race number 44 car will be coming back to the pits, but not under its own steam. Damage to the right front of that car where it speared right into the protective metal barriers, Armco barriers.
Where's Scott Wellham too? He's gone missing on that first lap somewhere. In car number 61.
Right. Was he involved in the same spot?
Maybe he didn't take the start. I didn't honestly see, but
yeah, he's not seen as taking the start. You're absolutely right.
No, maybe you're right.
So, 27, the Carrazzo car we knew wasn't going to be here.
Sebastian Carrazzo, due to make it, the 20-year-old from Puerto Rico, due to make his debut this weekend. Unfortunately, he was one of the 2 guys that crashed on their way into the pits with heavy rain falling on slick tyres at turn 11 yesterday afternoon. Heavy damage to that car, and as you say, it's off-site at a repair shop run by Tim Rosengrant, a former competitor and race winner in this championship. He hasn't been racing for a few years, but old buddies of the team owner at NGT Motorsport, Ramiz Wahab, and he called him up and said, hey, can I bring a car along for repairs? Sure, said Tim. So the car's over there. Should be back this afternoon, and they're hoping to get that car back out into the race tomorrow. So, goodness gracious me.
Well, it's the start that nobody wanted. There's some barrier repairs to be done by the track services guys, and they will be working hard to get that put right. Indeed they are. They've already got the spreaders out to, well, I'll tell you what, they've done a job on that Armco. It's pierced through the Armco now. Yes, that's not great. No. Not great at all. So, once again, our thanks to the track services crew. They're going to use a little bit of girder bar and the torque of an electric winch just to pull that straight out on the far side of the circuit from us. Actually, to our right, we can see where that is going on. It's on the run up to turn number 8. So we're under full course caution with 38 minutes left, just over 12 minutes completed. Not really much we can take from those first laps, Jeremy, other than the fact that we know that Roman De Angelis, given half a chance, will be away like a rat up a drain pipe. Yeah,
except he's now got David Coltman behind him, and already said this season.
Well.
Yeah, once again, he's made up positions in just about every race, I think, from the start line this season, except for the first one at Sebring, but. Both at Barber Motorsport in race 2 there, and at Mid-Ohio also in race 2. He qualified second on each occasion. First firstly behind Roman DeAndres at Barber, and secondly behind Trenton Estep at Mid-Ohio. It was Trenton Estep's first ever pole, by the way, last time out at Mid-Ohio. But on each occasion, he took the lead at the start and went on to win the race. And even though he doesn't yet have a pole position to his credit, David Cockman's led more laps than anybody else this season with those 2 race wins, 56 laps in total led. Roman DeAndres has led a total of 54 laps with the 1 race win to his name. Trenton Estep, he's won twice, but only led a total of 21. He's actually led 3 races, but 2 of which he's won. But total laps led of 21 in the season so far.
Oh, really?
And Roman DeAndres led the not quite the first half of the opening round at Sebring, but he was then overhauled by Trenton Estep, who went on to win. And then at Mid-Ohio, it was
what is it, you know, what sort of time is it now? We're 2 o'clock on a Friday afternoon on this time zone. Finish work, get home, pack the car up, drive down, bring your tent, do a bit of camping, get a couple of great days racing. Saturday we've got the Continental Tire 240, 4 hours of Continental Tire Sports Car Challenge, and then the 6 hours, the Sale 6 hours of the Glen on Sunday, plus couple of Porsche and couple of Lamborghini races.
One more each. There'll be 1 more Lamborghini race this afternoon, and then 1 each for Porsche and Lamborghinis tomorrow as well. So it's a full weekend of racing here at Watkins Glen International. Yeah, if you're vaguely thinking about it, do it.
Yes, agreed. Absolutely agreed, Jeremy. This is a super venue.
And if you're not vaguely thinking about it,
you should. Why not?
You should think again. Come join us.
Yes,
we'll do the best to bring you the action even if you're not here, but I tell you what, it's a lot better to be here in person if you possibly can.
This is a lovely place to come motor racing, and when we've got weather forecast as we have this weekend, which is just on the right side of absolutely perfect, then there's no reason for you not to jump in the car and come over. You know, you can sleep in your car. Don't even need to bring a tent this weekend. Sleep under the car, the old way we used to do it at Le Mans. Bring a ground blanket and something like that, sleeping bag. You've done that plenty of time covering races, Jeremy, haven't you?
Absolutely,
Me too.
Covering Formula 3 race at Monte Carlo, sleeping in the back of the Hotel Cortina. Ford Cortina, I should say.
Yes, the Hotel Cortina, very good. Very good. The safety car lights are out, which means we're about to go back racing around the world and around the track. IMSA TV and IMSA Radio. Lovely to have your company. It's Jeremy Shaw and John Hindorf with the IMSA Porsche GT3 Cup Challenge USA by Yokohama, and Roman De Angelis will bring the field back to the green flag in 2 corners time. Watch out for David Coleman in the dark grey and red Park Place number 71 car. I said 73 before, I know I did, but that's because I'm so used to having the 73. On to the right-hand pedal. Roman De Angelis tries to catch out the cars behind, and rather does. He's got himself a great restart, has 4, 5, 6 car lengths across the line and down towards the very tricky right-hander. Downhill braking, always difficult, coming through from 6th position. Alexander Imperato Beautiful, beautiful overtaking manoeuvre. He goes past the number 12 car, and that's 5th position for the 91. Imperato then up 1 place, Boss down 1. Through the S's on the restart. De Angelis already half a second at the line. Kolkman, Estep, Max Root in the 7 car in 4th position, and everyone else streaming through. Estep's got to run on 2nd place, goes into the inner loop, the bus stop chicane. Ride the curbs on the exit, or down the inside Estep. This is a very audacious manoeuvre as he goes into turn 5. You don't often see that happen. He's going to have to hang on the inside, and he has done. Pushed Kolkman a little bit wide, and Kolkman on the grass for a moment with his left hand to Yokohama's, perhaps showing a little bit of inexperience at this track. Fought a bit too hard, might not just lose the 1 place, might lose 2.
Yeah, possibly, because Max Root's going to look to the inside of the toe of the boot, not able to make that done. A slight mistake there coming through the inner loop there by David Kolkman. The car that slid a little bit wide on the exit, and that was all that Trenton Estep needed to get alongside going into turn 5 and complete that pass. Great move by Trenton Estep, just the hint of a mistake. It's really all it was from David Kolkman, who's enough to lose the position. Here's Michael Levinas looking at the inside of Fred Poordad. That is for the lead in the Masters category. 7th and 8th overall, car numbers 20. That's Fred Poordad who leads it. Michael Levinas in 2nd place in car number 36. That was a brilliant restart once again, though, from Roman De Angelis. He really put the hammer down, made a great run through turn 1 and through the S's. And once again, he's got a huge lead over now Trenton Estep in 2nd place.
Those of you watching around the world or around the United States, no breaks all the way through to the checkered flag in half an hour's time. 30 minutes to go. De Angelis, before the full course yellow, had 2.8 seconds. Well, he's got 1.9, so he's lost a second effectively. Another great overtaking manoeuvre down into the first corner. That was David Baker having a little look down the inside, I think. Mark Kavame going 1 position further back, and that was in the battle for 12th and 13th, or if you prefer, 4th and 5th in the Platinum Masters category. Victor Gomez makes a mistake going into the inner loop. He might hold on, might just hold on. He's battling, and he's lost a position, but not in his class, crucially. Victor Gomez just missing his braking point. Very sensibly didn't try to turn the car in too sharply in the corner. If he'd done that, he would have lost the back end of the number 25. Now down in 10th position as Alan Metney got by him. Sean McKaigie as well, who was in there looking rather dangerous as well. Mark Kavame now is right in behind, but it's quite a few cars back to the 42 car, which is 2nd in gold category.
Yeah, that's Bill Smith, and there's 4 Masters contenders behind Victor Gomez. That's Sean McKaigue, Mark Kavame, David Baker. I think he made a pass. Yeah, he has made a pass on that lap. David Baker then up to 5th position in Masters, and Charlie Luck in number 45 car hanging in there as well. Charlie Luck struggling a little bit this weekend in that car number 45. Behind him is Kurt Fazekas, who has now found a way past Bill Smith and into 2nd in Gold Cup. In the meantime, here comes Roman De Angelis to complete lap 6. He's extended his lead once again over Trenton Estep. It's now 2.5 seconds between 1st and 2nd. Roman De Angelis 153.55 on that lap. Wow. The previous lap was the fastest lap of the race, 153.552. This last lap from De Angelis, 153.559. That's what I call consistency. Brilliant driving from young Roman De Angelis.
Yeah, and the 61 car just had confirmation. The Wellham 61 car, that's another one of the Kelly Moss Road and race cars, isn't it, Jeremy? That did not take the start. So, can't tell you why at the moment. Kolkman under pressure in 3rd position from Max Root as he heads into the long, almost interminable turn number 5. Now down the hill to turn 6. Starts from a very wide entry point. And that not necessarily the best thing to do, although Kolkman gets a lovely exit. But what he's doing there is encouraging Max Root to have a little look down the inside. And Root, I don't think we'll need to have a second invitation there. De Angelis by 2.5 seconds. Then it's Estep in 2nd in the rebuilt number 3 JTX racing car. Then it's a second and a half back to a scrap, which is shaping up to be an absolute cracker. 2 cars at the moment, but about to be 3, as Alexander Imperato is joining on to the back of Max Root in 4th and David Kolkman in 3rd. This could get tasty.
Yeah, and Anthony Imperato in that number 91 car, the Henry's Rifles car, he's struggled through practice and qualifying this morning, but now he's found the pace in that Wright Motorsports machine, car number 91. And as you say, John Hindhaugh closing right in onto the tail of that battle for 3rd place between David Kolkman and Maxwell Root.
Kolkman for Park Place, Maxwell Root, Wright Motorsports. Wright Motorsports, JDX, Kelly Moss Road and Race, the real big name teams. That's Kelly Moss Road and Race that leads at the moment in the GT3 Platinum category. These are the newer version of the 2 cars that's out there. Gen 2 991 GT3 Cup Challenge cars. Oh, locked up by Kolkman of the right front Yokohama going into the inner loop, and that's just put him off a little bit and given a little more encouragement to Maxwell Root. Estep trying to close the gap on the leader, has just put in the fastest first sector of anybody, but he's 3.2 seconds behind. Just the tiniest nip up on the right front by Kolkman as he went into the inner loop there, but he's again done a pretty good job of mitigating any damage there, and Root didn't have a chance to make the pass. Heading uphill now on the far side of the circuit. If we look to our right, we can just see them cresting the rise and then coming into the braking area at turn number 8. This is fantastic stuff, as we've come to expect with this Porsche GT3 Cup Challenge USA by Yokohama. Part of a global commitment from Porsche. Pretty much every region has one of these races, sometimes called Carrera Cup.
Sometimes called challenges.
Sometimes called challenges, yeah.
The main reason for that is basically on the qualifications are required really effectively by the driver, because no pro drivers are allowed in a challenge series, of which this is one.
Yes, that's a good point. The UK Carrera Cup, which I worked on for many years, was eligible to pro drivers. Estep in 2nd position. Green, gold and a bit of grey on the back of that car. What a job by the mechanics. The front end of that car was trashed, literally. It was taken off, nut and bolt, every piece of metal replaced pretty much forward of the front bulkhead on that car.
Yeah, absolutely everything.
And that was from yesterday afternoon to today. They worked tirelessly through yesterday evening, taking it apart and putting it back together again. Everybody putting their fastest lap of the race in last lap, all the way down to Victor Gomez in 11th position, who still holds on in that number 25 car to the lead in the GT3 Gold category. He's down through turn number 6 at the moment. Just a little bit of cloud cover, and at the moment that the clouds come over, the temperature really does drop. Just a few wisps, yeah. Yes. Remember, this is a relatively long race, or was when we started it, 45 minutes. The IMSA Development Series meant to give these drivers the opportunity to do longer races to replicate what they might be doing later on in their career if they go into either Continental Tyre Series or the IMSA WeatherTech Series.
And that is certainly the plan for pretty much all of these drivers at the front of the field here. We've got three teenagers among the top 4. David Kolkman, the old man of that group, in the 3rd position, car number 71 for Park Place Motorsports at the ripe old age of 21. All of them really seriously talented. A new fastest lap there for Roman DeAndres at the front of the field. That gap from 1st to 2nd out now to 3.7 seconds. This is a clinic being put on by Roman DeAndres for Kelly Moss Road and Race at the front of the field.
You just can't give Roman DeAngelis that kind of advantage. Now, he's got to be a little bit careful because there's still 22.5 minutes to go, and he's got to manage his tyre wear. The Yokohama tyre in this series, very durable. A relatively heavy car when you start with a full fuel load. The temptation is often to push too hard earlier on. You do that when the car gets lighter later on. If you don't have as much tyre life left as your competitors, you can begin to get reeled back in again. 52 having a bit of a battle at the moment is Kurt Fazekas, and he's got Mark Kavame ahead of him. They're 13th and 14th, not in the same class. Fazekas in second place in gold at the moment, and having a real good go at Mark Kavame. Meantime, at the head of the field, Roman De Angelis in the number 1 car had his lead trimmed a tiny bit by Trenton Estep last time around, courtesy of a very good lap. In fact, Roman De Angelis put the fastest lap of the race in last time around, so it's back to 3.7 seconds again now. It's a shame these two aren't absolutely together, Jeremy, because they are trading tenths of seconds now that they've got up to speed. But it was just that Roman De Angelis got a great restart, and then his first couple of laps off the green flag and the restart of the race were absolutely exemplary.
Yeah, pretty impressive, but it's Roman De Angelis in the middle sector that he's absolutely stunning. I mean, he was 3/10 faster on this lap alone through that middle part of the portion of the 3.4 mile lap here. That's impressive.
Estep has got the two other sectors tied up in terms of the fastest sectors of the race, but it's by half a tenth here and a quarter of a tenth there. He's not getting enough back. Just under 21 minutes to go, and Roman De Angelis, what a prospect this young man is. Had awful luck last year. Once again this year doing double duty with the Porsche GT3 Cup Challenge USA by Yokohama and the IMSA Porsche GT3 Cup Challenge, the Ultra 94 series north of the border.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. He's got a busy season ahead of him again, and he's a real talent, this boy. And he just, once again, Trenton Estep's gone purple in Sector 1, but Roman De Angelis, he set a new fastest lap again last time around, a 52.4, has extended his lead by another 3/10 of a second on that lap. And once again, in the middle sector, he goes purple again, does Roman De Angelis. 4/10 of a second he pulls out just through, that's the inner loop, turn 5, turn 6, down to the boot. Brilliant effort by Roman De Angelis, extending that lead now. It's over 4 seconds last time around, and it was only 6 laps ago they went back to green. Remarkable.
Just a little note, Kurt Fazekas took almost a second out of Victor Gomez last time around in the GT3 Gold category. Now he's got Mark Kavame and David Baker between himself and his class leader. Gomez in 11th, Fazekas in 14th, but that is just on 2 seconds, that gap at the moment. Check that. No, I was right, yeah, just on 2 seconds, that at the moment, and Fazekas is closing up. His problem is he's got to get past Mark Kavame and David Baker if he's going to make progress. I think Victor Gomez has got the word, because he's beginning to pick up his pace now, and he's got some pressure behind from David Baker in the white and blue with the yellow and red at the back of the car as they're heading on down towards the inner loop. And Fazekas is closing right up now in that dark purple coloured car. 2 of the platinum cars ahead, but as he pulls out to the right hand side, he'll be able to see his class leader, and now just Mark Kavame between him. This is a very well judged race so far with just on 18 minutes to go, and Fazekas can see the leader in gold category. So that one, which looked done, dusted and written in stone somewhat 5-10 minutes ago, that's coming back to Kurt Fazekas.
Kurt Fazekas a couple of years ago was involved in a huge crash on the opening stages of the race, and spent quite a lot of time in the hospital. Is there contact? Yes, there is contact between the 2 cars. That's Mark Kavame got slightly into the tail of Victor Gomez. It was Gomez who spun around then at the toe of the boot. He's lost the lead. He's fallen a long, long way back. There was slight contact there, I feel, between those 2 cars, and it was Gomez that came off the worst. Well, it was a battle position on the racetrack, but not in class.
Whoa, what's happened there? Charlie Luck has just gone by Kurt Fazekas, so Fazekas with a problem as well in the crazy purple car. Kavame diving down the inside.
That's a bit naughty.
Came from a long way back. Door was left open, but you've got to leave racing room, and Kavame was coming in pretty hot. Now, you can come in quite quickly there because of the uphill at turn number 7. There's nary a mark on the side of Victor Gomez, but he was the Gold Class leader, and now that has gone to Kurt Fazekas with a second lead over Bill Smith in the 42 in second. Then Rob Ferriol in third is 5 seconds further back, and no surprises. We're hearing from race control that the incident between Mark Kavame and Victor Gomez is under review. Victor Gomez having dropped down to 4th in the class, and now some 14 seconds away from the lead that he held just a couple of moments ago.
Yeah, and that was a really optimistic lunge there by Mark Kavame, who wasn't here yesterday, by the way. So he just hopped into the car this morning for the first time this weekend, and that was never really on that move, quite frankly.
That might have shown the lack of track time there.
Yeah, just a little bit of, well, youthful exuberance for one of the Masters drivers.
Battle for that gold category as the 25 of Victor Gomez has continued. It was the lightest of touches, but these cars are so much on the ragged edge of adhesion that that's all it needs. And Kurt Fazekas has got his mirrors full of Bill Smith, and trust me, when Bill Smith is behind you, you see the car. It's pretty Larry coloured. A reddy orange car. The martial arts sponsorship.
Yeah, Bill Smith's best result so far is a 3rd position. That came at Barber Motorsports in race 2 there, round 4 of the championship.
Drive through for Mark Kavame. I'm not surprised at that at all. Termed incident responsibility for the collision with the 25. He's already clearly been made aware of it. He's peeling off immediately, so he gets absolutely the most opportunity to make back those positions. He comes in, he was just outside the top 10 behind Fred Podard. David Baker now putting the pressure on Fred for the last position in the top 10. By the way, at the front of the field, it's still 4.5 seconds between De Angelis and Esther. It was an optimistic lunge, wasn't it, down the inside from Mark Kavame?
Yeah, afraid so.
And out he comes back onto the track. Fazekas now under real pressure. Kavame will have dropped down
into 20th place overall, I reckon.
Yeah, and that's going to be about 14th in the Platinum class. And Fazekas has lost the lead. No, he hasn't. No. And Bill Smith's right there, though.
Mark Kavame, by the way, was 2nd in Masters points coming into this weekend. He was about 18 points behind Charlie Luck, but one ahead of Alan Metney, who is now up into 2nd place in Masters.
Lovely drive by the man from Atlanta, Alan Metney. Number 1 comes underneath our commentary position here in the IMSA radio broadcast booth and heads towards turn 1. Down to our left-hand side, it's a right-hand corner, downhill braking. Gently coax the car into the corner, it doesn't want to turn in there. And De Angelis has got more than 4 seconds of a lead now on Trenton Estep. David Coltman in 3rd position.
But Estep has just set a new fastest lap of the race.
Wow, and taken half a second nearly out of the leader.
Absolutely, really good lap for Trenton Estep.
Now, at this point, Jeremy, this looks over and done with, but we've seen before, particularly with a little bit of heat in the circuit as we have today. Sunshine is beautiful, high sun, barely any shadows around the leading Porsche as it goes through that long parabolic turn number 5 and heads down the hill to 6. The left-hander. You've got to look after those Yokohamas, save some performance in them to the end. Super tyre if you look after them, but if, like any tyre, if you abuse them, they will give up a little bit of performance. And Trenton Estep, we've seen in the past, is a master of coming good when it's required. Remember this, ladies and gentlemen, 4.2 seconds at the end of the 14th lap. That was effectively with about 13 minutes to go. Fazekas and Smith, by the way, still duking it out for the 13th and 14th positions, but that is the lead in GT3 Gold. More incident on the circuit a few moments ago.
That's Fred Pordad spinning around, and David Baker there going to take the...
there was contact there between Baker and Pordad, and that is going to drop them both down. Charlie Look going through, and that's all Platinum Masters drivers.
Yes.
So Charlie Look gets the look, and the 20 of Fred Pordad and the 56 of David Baker will be reviewed for that avoidable contact. There's only one way that that's going, if I'm honest. That'll be another drive-through.
Fastest lap, by the way, by car number 3. That's Drenton Estep in second place. He's got that gap now below 4 seconds at 151.9. He's only 0.2 of a second outside Chris Green's lap record that was set a couple of years ago. And
the leader is in traffic, Jeremy. Has already put the 85 car a lap down now, goes past Kerr in the 74. This is 8th and 7th in GT3 Gold. Always more problematical for the back markers, or passing the back markers for the leader, because you're the first one there. Spot on 11 minutes to go. Watkins Glen International, sunshine. Porsche's on track. Perfect scenario, particularly for Roman De Angelis. 4 seconds to the good over Drenton Estep in second, 1 from 3. The white and green car leads the black and gold. Then David Coltman in the grey with the red stripes. Max Root in the mostly white car in 4th position. 1, 3, 71 and 7. 10 seconds between the top 4 now.
Yeah, and Roman De Angelis out in the lead of this race, still got a pretty commanding lead. He just set his best lap of the race last time around at 152.2. As I said a few moments ago, Drenton Estep even quicker at 151.9. Still 10 minutes remaining in this race, so another probably 6 laps.
Great news, that incident for David Baker a few moments ago with the contact with the number 20 of Fred Pordad, who hasn't made it back around, by the way, was good news for Kurt Fazekas, because he managed to slip through, and David Baker now between himself and Bill Smith. They're battling, of course, Fazekas and Smith for the gold lead.
Change for 3rd position.
Oh,
Max
not anymore.
Max Root has found a way past David Coltman somewhere on that lap. Not sure where it was, but...
and David Baker's got past Fazekas as well, Jeremy, so that means that the 2 gold leaders are back together line astern. So 52 Baker, 52 Fazekas now behind the 56, the blue and white of David Baker, and the orangey red number 42 sitting in behind them. I think we're going to see a penalty for that contact between Pordad and Baker, although in fairness Pordad has stopped, so we'll see whether that is assessed or not. Fazekas driving beautifully, losing no ground at all to the newer Gen 2 Platinum car with the black mirrors as he went through the S's and into the inner loop now. Well, Bill Smith is having the drive of his career.
Yeah, he is.
He sniffs the top step of the podium here, Jeremy.
Yeah, his previous best finish was a 3rd, so he's already in 2nd. And as you say, he's all over the back of Kurt Fazekas. There's a super battle between those 2. Also a fun battle for 5th place in Gold Cup with Wayne Ducote in car number 73, which matches his age remarkably. Having a fabulous tussle with Frank Razzo in car number 10.
Yeah, next year he'll be in car number 74. That's what he does. De Angelis by 3.8 seconds. He stemmed the tide of Drenton Estep, who's been eking towards him. Maxwell Root now crosses the line in 3rd position, confirmed ahead of David Coltman by a full second now. And his gap to the leading pair, 9.5 seconds. Surely with only 7.5 minutes or thereabouts still to go, that is too much.
Yeah, it ballooned out a couple of laps ago. Not sure what the problem was for David Coltman, but he's...
Well, he was in traffic, Jeremy, and I just wonder if that played a part, because he had a couple of slow sectors, and Maxwell Roos may have pounced. Imperato in 5th position. He's only a couple of seconds back, and he's just put his fastest lap of the race in, and he was a full second quicker than Coltman, but he's got that traffic to hit, don't forget. De Angelis still by almost 4 seconds. He's done a great job since we first saw him.
Mark Kwame's charging along too. He's he just come across the line in the 17th position.
Yeah, well, don't forget he's had a stop and go, or sorry, a drive through.
Right.
And he's just done his fastest lap of the race, which has dragged him back up to 17th position. He's just passed Wayne Dakota, actually. 13th, however, in Platinum, and that makes him, what, 6th. Check that, 7th in Masters. Love to see the fact that there's a nice mix of what I might call career drivers and hobby drivers. I won't say that any of them take it less seriously than the other, but the older drivers aren't looking to get picked up by a team, whereas very much the younger drivers are thinking to the future and a career.
Once again, fabulous consistency from a race leader. Last 2 laps within thousandths of a second at 52.15, which is his best laps of the race.
I'll be astounded, Jeremy, if he doesn't get a phone call with a Stuttgart area code or a Weissach area code sometime soon. He's surely young driver material, Roman De Angelis.
Yeah, gem out of the car as well, isn't he?
Yeah. And, you know, Canadian will be a great story for Canada, and for the young man. Has a real future. Made a conscious decision to come into GT racing with Porsche. Not always been the traditional way, of course, with karting and open wheel. Everyone looks to things like Formula 1 and IndyCar. And that young man early on decided he wanted to be a sports car or a GT driver. And as I say, I'd be very surprised if either this year or next he doesn't get a call from Germany. Kurt Vasikas just managing to ease out a little bit now at the head of the gold category in that sort of hippie coloured purple and green car with the burnt orange of Bill Smith trying to chase him down. They're in 12th and 13th, but 1st and 2nd in their Gold Cup class. This is for the previous generation of 991 Porsche 911 Cup cars, Gen 1. I wonder if Bill Smith has just pushed a little bit too hard in the middle part of the race. Vasikas now having another look to retake David Baker, who's ahead of him in 11th. The 56 car, though, with the red hindquarters and rear bumper, is a platinum class car, so he's a little bit difficult to get through on the straight because he's got a few more horsepower. Vasikas very committed through the corners as they come to turn 9, left-hander, slightly uphill, let the hill slow you down, get on the power early. Meantime, Victor Gomez, who was leading the class, has fought his way back up into 4th position.
He has. And our leaders, by the way, Roman De Angelis turned a new best lap last time, and fraction again within 100ths of a second of his previous 3 laps. A personal best for him, but a new fastest lap of the race by Trenton Esser, who's 3.7 seconds behind. He certainly got the pace in that car. Doesn't have quite the consistency, but it's been a really good job by both of those two. They pulled now over 10 seconds clear of Maxwell Root in 3rd position.
Yeah, I think Maxwell has just settled for that 3rd position, and that's not the worst thing to do. He's built up almost 2 seconds on David Coltman, who's trying to fight back a little bit with his fastest first sector of the race. In 4th position in the 71, the dark grey with the red stripes. That's the Park Place car. There's no sense in Maxwell Root throwing himself at the scenery, trying to catch the leading 2. He's now nearly 11 seconds behind. As Victor Gomez is trying to chase down. And all of a sudden, Victor Gomez is up into 3rd in class. So what's happened to Rob Furriol? He's dropped back. Had a slow lap last time around, or was that just a particularly good lap from Victor Gomez? The latter, 1:55.3 last time around. And Furriol and Keimer have gone to the sword of Victor Gomez, who's now 12 seconds behind the pair battling for the lead in the gold category. Victor Gomez really pushing on. Also at the head of the field, Trenton Estep trying to close down the leader. He's bringing it down, Jeremy, but with just 2 minutes left, maybe a couple of laps. Estep still 3.5 seconds back. He's not eating into the lead, he's barely nibbling into it.
Yeah, that's right. So it'll be white flag next time around. So as you say, 2 more laps to go. 20 laps completed by the race leaders, and unless there's some sort of a drama for Roman De Angelis, he's pretty much got this race in the bag. But it's been a good drive by both of those top 2.
Yeah, a great start and a great restart from Roman De Angelis. He has that ability that only a select few drivers seem to possess, that on relatively cold tyres at the start of a race or the restart of a race, he can just get the car where he wants it, position it where he wants it on the track. Super quick in the first 2 laps of the start of the race. Yes, there was a battle going on behind him, but did exactly the same on the restart when everyone was lying astern. Estep possibly just ruining the fact that David Coltman got around him earlier on. That cost him a bit of time, but then was given a second chance at that restart and couldn't take it as he was caught slightly napping coming through the final corner to the green flag. White flag is in the air. 3.4 miles between Roman De Angelis and a win for Kelly Moss Road and Race. Oh, just got a little bit of a slide going on down the hill into turn 1, right over the red and yellow curbs on driver's left, and now climbs up through the S's.
A new fastest lap there for Trenton Estep in second place. He got that gap down to 3 seconds. 151.690. That is a new race lap record here. It just eclipses by less than a hundredth of a second the record that was set a couple of years ago by Chris Green. 1 year ago, no, I lie. I beg your pardon. That was the race lap time from last year. The race lap record. Let me start again.
Come in again, Jeremy.
As I was saying, that was a new race lap record for Trenton Estep. Forget the middle bit. I was right first time.
The major part of the fact was right. It's a new race lap record.
If I'd shut up right there, I'd been fine.
Yeah, absolutely. Main time in gold. The purple and green machine comes across. Oh, right to the wall and touching the wall, I think. They get the white flag. And Bill Smith's up for his best result ever if he stays in second place. But any more sliding around like that from Fazekas, and Bill Smith will think he might have another sniff of the lead. Victor Gomez just comes across the line underneath us now, and he is 12.5 seconds back, having led the motor race in that category. But it's all been about the Canadian on Canada Day weekend. Once again, it's been a happy hunting ground around here for the Canadians in the past, even when we've had the combined races. And Roman De Angelis comes through the final corner in upstate New York at Watkins Glen. The white flag out for the cars around him. The checker for the Kelly Moss Road and Race driver as he comes through to win it by 2.5 seconds at the line. But that was enough. It was well judged. It was perfectly judged. And it's full points to the Canadian here at Watkins Glen. Good drive, Jeremy.
Brilliant drive by Roman De Angelis. Absolutely superb. His last, let me just reel off his lap times. 52.2, 52.1, 52.1, 52.1, 52.1, 52.2, 52.2, 52.3 for his final lap. Yeah. Fantastic. That's how you win a motor race. Trenton Estep was a fractionally quicker, but not quick enough.
Coming through just outside the top 10, but winning in the GT3 gold category for the Gen 1 cars. It's going to be Kurt Fazekas. He's driven a very measured race with platinum cars around him, sometimes helping, sometimes hindering. And it's going to be a very happy podium too, because Bill Smith will get his best ever result in the number 42, the burnt orange car. Fazekas with the checkered flag in gold. Smith comes through in second. Victor Gomez, who was leading and got a tap to take him out of it, will fight back to third position in the category. So some redemption for Victor Gomez, the fourth, but it's Kurt Fazekas on top of the gold podium, and Bill Smith, his best result ever in the gold category, takes second. There'll be at least two happy smiling faces there, and one a bit cheesed off, I would think, which will be Victor Gomez. Well, Jeremy, the Porsches, as they have done for the last 70 years, because Porsche was created to go and compete. Dr. Ferdinand Porsche couldn't afford advertising for his new marque, so he thought it was a good idea to send these strange rear-engine, small, lightweight cars out into competition to gain some publicity. That was 70 years ago this month. And Porsches have been a staple and an essential part of sports car racing ever since. And the GT3 cars down through the years have found us some outstanding talent. And I think we'll be adding to that roll of honour with the name of Roman De Angelis in the years to come.
His second win of the season, matching the tally of Trent and Estep, but they came in here separated by 11 points from first to second. That margin will be reduced now by 3, so just 8 points separating the two drivers as they go into tomorrow's race, and that'll be the halfway point in the season. That'll be, tomorrow is round 8, it'll be 16 in this season.
Yeah, that was great stuff. Measured, took the pressure of the restart very well indeed. David Coltman, I think, will be a little disappointed. Started well, fantastically well. Went from fourth to second. Will end up just off the podium in fourth position, with Maxwell Root fighting back to the third place. Estep second, but Roman De Angelis, the man of the moment. Another cracking race for the youngsters, the career-minded drivers at the head of the field. And that's how it's been all season. I have no reason to think it will be any different for the rest of the season. So I hope you can join us for more Porsche GT3 Cup Challenge USA by Yokohama live on IMSA Radio and IMSA TV across 2018. For Jeremy Shaw, I'm John Hindhaugh. Thanks for joining us. And come back and watch some more of this wonderful, wonderful single make racing from Porsche. Bye-bye.